So I sold at the flea market a few weeks back, and I wanted to wait until Ian was healthy again to talk about it with him. But since it's almost a month ago, I want to say it now because it's still fresh in my mind somewhat. The experience. I sold with Frank. I bought the spot. Don't worry, Frank. You don't have to pay me back because I used your help. I used your truck to transport all my garbage to sell there. It was quite an experience, though. It really was an experience selling there. There was good and there was bad, but it was mostly bad. First, the prep involved with getting all the shit together, trying to price some of this stuff, and that was all a waste of time. I maybe sold 20% of the stuff I bought. Maybe 25, 30%, but it was a very low amount. I will preface this all by saying that the Chargers were on TV that day, and they were on TV in the morning. So what they're telling me that usually when the Chargers are on TV is that if they're on in the afternoon, people will get up early to come to the swap meet and then go back home and watch the game. But if they're on in the morning, they won't do that. They'll just stay home for the whole day. It's not like they're going to come later on at 1 or 2 in the afternoon. It's just like, what's the point of doing that? So there's probably less people in general, but it was still fairly busy. But I had problems selling stuff. And I brought video game stuff. I brought toy stuff. I brought electronic stuff. And nothing really moved the whole day. There's a few stories I want to talk about, though. Got there early with Frank. We got there at about 6 in the morning. I did not have a chance to walk around early and look for shit to buy. I mean, that's one of the fringe benefits because a lot of the sellers that do that, they'll walk around for the first hour until 7 a.m. when people come in, but then they spend the next 2 hours setting up. I didn't want to do that. And plus, we had to do this sort of freaking Three Stooges routine of putting up the canopy that we rented. Then we did it upside down at first. It was funny. Me and Frank were yelling at each other, putting together these like metal poles, then trying to tie the canopy. It was nuts. We got it done though. We got it done before 7. We got set up. So I wasn't able to sell much. I still made hundreds of dollars though. It's not like I didn't sell anything, but I mean, I bought enough of like decent stuff that I thought I'd sell out a good amount. I had a bag of G.I. Joes from the 80s, doubles that I couldn't sell. I wasn't even asking that much. I was asking like a couple dollars each. I wanted to sell the whole bag. No one wanted it, I had about 20 to 30 retro games along with a bag of like controllers, a few zappers, the gyro spinners from Gyromite, just miscellaneous like Nintendo and Super Nintendo controllers and accessories. Bag sitting there. Maybe one person even looked at the bag. I will admit that our stuff wasn't like set up as clean, but we had some cool stuff. Frank had some board games, Avalon Hill board games that he might have sold maybe one only. I had toys. I myself had board games. I had video game stuff. I sold, I think, one video game. I sold my extra, I think, Tiles of Fate cartridge. That's all I sold. No one was even asking for the prices of the stuff, which was very surprising. Wario came around early. He saw an acrylic display I have. I basically told him to move along. I wasn't pricing anything yet. Didn't come back. And I was actually funny because I was like almost right across from Wario too. He was like diagonally across from me. I thought it was funny. But I learned a harsh lesson. And I'll get to one story where I almost got in a fight with someone. But I learned a harsh lesson that day. That it's a lot harder to sell the shit you accumulate than it is to accumulate the shit in the first place. That was a eye-opener in terms of, maybe not for retro games, those will be easier to sell, but for like toys and stuffed animals and stuff. Like I had stuff like that I did sell. I had a talking Pee Wee Herman with a drawstring, but I also have like the Terry like flapping his wings like a puppet thing with the cherry, and I sold it all for like $25 or $20. It was probably worth about 60 or 70 or so, altogether. But you're going to take a loss at the flea market. That's what it is. But people at the flea market, I learned, don't like spending money at all, even on stuff that's worth it. For example, I had a webcam, brand new webcam, the Logitech C920 that I think cost $70 or $80 new. I only wanted about $30 for it. brand new. No one wanted it. So you're saving more than half of the eBay price or Amazon price brand new. No one wanted it still. And it's like, I can't give that away. I want to get rid of it. I can't totally give it away. I had a wireless headphone set that would cost $50 new. Now this one was used though, I'll say that. But I wanted like $10 for it for wireless headphones. They're wireless. Were they Sennheiser? They're ones that you charge, no wires. You hook it up to your stereo TV. No one even wanted to spend $10 on the freaking thing. So that was a harsh lesson just about how hard it is to get rid of this crap at a flea market. I talked to a few people afterwards, and it's like, yeah, this is stuff that if I wanted to move everything I had, I probably would have to sell every day at the flea market for at least like 3 months, and I probably would have sold more and more eventually. So I don't know, it's my mistake for thinking I could sell a chunk of it that day. I thought I'd be able to sell more than 25% of it. That's for sure. I was thinking maybe selling half of this shit because it was priced to move, a lot of it. Not priced to give away, but priced to move. So that was a shame. But the lack of interest in the retro games was really not telling, but surprising that there was no one really interested in it. There was a bag, like I said, bag controllers and zappers, and no one really wanted it. It was funny because I think Frank had a zapper laying around he wanted me to sell for him. There was one person really interested in. I had some Transformers figures that I actually brought there by accident. And then he got pissed that I wouldn't sell them because he's going through the bag. I said, "Oh no, sorry, I don't want to sell those." And I kind of like took the bag. He's just sitting there like, it felt like he wanted to kill me, which I thought was funny. But I was like, I actually brought the Transformers by accident, a bunch of Generation 1 Transformers that I had laying around. But everything else was priced to get the hell out of there, and I just couldn't sell it. But the 8 hours I was there, from 6 a.m. to about 4. It went by so quickly. That's like 9 hours, by the way. No, it's 10 hours. It went by so quickly that I can't explain it. I didn't eat too much that day. I was dehydrated. Maybe I was in a daze, but it went by in the blink of an eye, which was the other thing that I thought was pretty interesting. I didn't film anything. I didn't have time. My mind wasn't wrapped around. I was just trying to honestly sell as much shit as I could at the time. But I had one bad experience that day, where someone was either goading me into a fight or wanted to fight me. Because, boy, I would have minded to throw down because it was almost at that point where it was bad, where even Frank was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? So I was selling this empty box for a Lego set. It was a pirate Lego set. If I had to guess the age of it, mid-90s. It was mid-90s for sure. It was like a medium-sized box. It wasn't a small one, like not the huge ones, but a medium-sized box. The ones that are like, maybe 18 inches by 12 inches or 18 inches by 14, something like that. So a medium-sized set. I looked up the full set online. Like the full set of this Lego set, if you had a complete, went for around $100 roughly. If you had it complete in the box. So I was selling the empty box for like $5. I figure, it's $5. It's not giving it away. So I might want to complete the set. So this gentleman, big guy, about, I want to say 6'5", 6'6", probably about 270 pounds. Big guy. Probably mid-50s. Had a goatee, glasses, silver hair. This is later in the day. I want to say it's about 1:30. He comes in, he walks in and we have the canopy, me and Frank are next to each other. He walks in, he sees the Lego box, which is to my left, right? And it was there next to a couple other Lego sets, and I sold one, I didn't sell the other one. I had this SpongeBob set that I picked up that wasn't totally complete, but it had the figures. I think I sold it for like $10 to someone. And I had a Star Wars set for sale. So this guy yells to pick it up, and as he picks it up, he goes, it's it's just a box. And I said, yeah, it's $5. I said, it's like a 20-year-old set, but it's just a box. And then he starts laughing at me. He starts laughing, and he's like, oh, you're selling just the box? $5? And I'm like, yeah, it's just a box. It's not the set, So I go to him. So he starts laughing, but it's like, I could tell, Frank could tell too, because Frank was annoyed too. It wasn't a laugh like, oh, it was a mistake. I picked it up. It was a derisive laugh, like, how dare you charge $5 for a box? So I say to him as he's walking away laughing, I said, well, what do you want to pay for it? Like, what's your counter offer? He didn't have a counter offer. He was annoyed that he had to walk like 10 feet to pick up an empty box before he realizes it. And it's not like if I said $5 and he picked it up, I was trying to trick him, because it's not like you could trick someone into buying an empty Lego box when they're thinking it should be full. Unless you don't know what weight and what something feels like, a full Lego set versus not. I don't know what his problem was. But the guy leaves, right? He leaves, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of fucking weird. And he walks away. So then he walks by again about 15 minutes later, and he's holding a Lego set. He's holding a Lego set. And now he walks by with it, and he starts mocking me as he's walking by. Again, this is like a 55-year-old grown-ass man. He's walking by with the Lego set. And he goes, oh, yeah, it's for $5. This one actually has stuff in it. What are you doing? And it was so fucking weird that he was openly mocking something that really did not deserve to be mocked at all. And I was nothing but nice to the guy, even after he was laughing at me. But now I'm fucking annoyed at this point. I'm dehydrated, haven't eaten anything. Day's going okay, long day. I don't gotta take this shit. I really don't. So I walk off to the edge of the tarp area, and I go, what exactly did I say to him? I said something to the effect of, like I'm not sure what your problem is, but if you really wanted the box, you should have made an offer on it, or like basically to the effect of that, like what is there to be like what's the problem, like what's the big deal that you're fucking doing right now? I was agitated. I wasn't being mean to the guy still, but I was basically almost like what are you doing? Like what are you, like, why are you messing with me for at this point? I wasn't trying to swindle you to buy a $5 Lego box that was empty. Like, it wasn't a swindle job. But then I realized at that moment he was just a fucking scumbag who was going around trying to find Lego systems for cheap, and that's what he was, being that he had another Lego set in his hand. He's a scumbag seller that thought that he can get a $100 set off me for $5. That's really what he was probably upset about at the time. And honestly, if I had that $100 set, I probably would have sold it for like $40. So he would have won anyway. If you bought a $100 set for $40, he would have won. So he's gone, and Frank's even like, woo, that guy's kind of weird. And it takes a lot to get even under Frank's skin. But even Frank knew it was really weird. But then the asshole comes by a third time. And he walks by and starts motioning to like all the boxes, like he's going to pick stuff up to mess with me or something. And at this point, I'm just like, fuck it. I don't care. I said, yeah, you're a really fucking happy person. You're really, nice person. You're really happy with your life. Yeah, have a good one. And he, as he's walking away, he goes, oh yeah, it takes one to know one. Gives me this hack reply after I basically call him out for being a miserable fucking piece of shit. And of course out there you can say, okay, it's not worth it, but I'm sorry, you fucking mocked me not once, twice, but 3 times. You're going to fucking hear it. And with his hack response, I realized he had nothing to offer anyway. He couldn't come back at me, and he wasn't going to turn around and come back. It wouldn't have ended well for him, either verbally or if he was dumb enough to do something physical with me. It would not have ended well. Especially with Frank's in there. Frank would have killed him even before I probably would have. But now, out there, now I'm going to look out for you at the swap meet. For my next Flea Market Madness, because now you're going to be the new Wario. I'm going to look out for you. I'm going to mess with you if I have the chance. This older gentleman who's just a piece of fucking trash, trying to start something with me for no other reason, just to be a fucking dickhead. Some fucking guy who's probably miserable, whose wife probably left him 10 years ago. All right, that's all it is for that. So at the end of the day, the flea market experience, it was interesting to be on the other side of it, from the selling perspective. But it's not something I want to do again anytime soon. It's different when you're selling at a retro game festival or expo, because that people are there to buy the stuff you're bringing. At a flea market, it's a crapshoot whether or not you're going to bring stuff people want.